Just two guys, a warehouse, and some amazing wines. Meet Crux Winery. What started as two neighbors who had a passion for wine has turned into this amazing portfolio of wines, right? So tell me, how did that all come to fruition?
Well, Steve and I are both transplants to Sonoma County, and we were surrounded by wineries and vineyards, and we wanted to try our hand at it.
I understand you kind of dabbled for quite some time before you really dove head first.
We did. We dabbled in a big way. We started our first year, we made 2 barrels of wine, which I didn't understand until years later that that's not normally how people start out. They usually make jugs of wine or something like that, and we just started out with barrels.
And we took it a little further in that we planted our own vineyards because it was difficult to source the Rhone Varietals that we decided we wanted to make wine with.
Now, what led to you wanting to focus mainly on Rhone Varietals? Because that's not as typical here in Sonoma County.
No, not in the Russian River where we are. We're surrounded by Pinot and Chardonnay, but we're on the north end of the Russian River, so it's a little warmer, and we think it's a perfect place for Rhone Varietals, and I think our lineup proves that.
Absolutely. So you started sourcing your own vineyards. What did you look for specifically when you were finding the vineyards that you planted and then your other source vineyards?
Well, initially we planted what we wanted to grow and what we thought was going to work. Turned out it did. We were very happy with our personal vineyards. We grow almost all of the varietals at some level on our home vineyards. So when we went to expand, we kept it pretty simple. We wanted as close as possible, people within our kind of neighborhood, if you want to call it that, with similar growing goals, techniques, similar varietals and clones. So we actually source from a pretty small geographic area.
Which is?
The northern end of the Russian River Valley AVA, as Brian described. It's really a transitional area. We're not far from 3 other AVAs, and the weather doesn't really follow the map. We're essentially typically above the fog line in the summer, so we're a little warmer than those areas that are better for Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. And we're close to Dry Creek, Alexander Valley. That's actually where the name Crux came from, is that we're at that crossroads of AVAs and that transitional zone.
Very cool. So as you have found the vineyards and kind of started deciding which varietals to make, what's been your goal in terms of kind of your winemaking philosophy and how that carries through then into the final bottles?
Well, I think we're obviously working with California fruit, but we're using a lot of old world techniques in that, we're destemming the fruit, we're not crushing it. We do mostly natural fermentations. We using open top fermenters that we're punching down 3 or 4 times a day. It's an extended fermentation period. Once they're in the barrel, we really don't rack our wines. So again, old world techniques using California fruit.
We do hang on to our bottles for about an extra year in the bottle, so I hope when people open it they find a bottle that's ready to drink and what they expect from that varietal.
And so tell me a little bit about your production, because you have a wide variety and yet very small caseload.
Yeah, so we make about 1,000 cases in our total production, and obviously when you divide that between 10 wines, your case counts aren't super high. And we just like the variety, and the Rhone blends, or the Rhone wines, all have a lot of blending characteristics. So pretty much everything we have isn't 100% varietal. We do a little blending. We're thrilled to be a part of the Cellar Angel family, and look forward to doing this again and again.
Absolutely, we're thrilled to have you as part of the group. Thanks so much for having us today. So cheers.
Cheers.
To Crux.
Thank you.
It's these intimate experiences where you get to taste with the winemaker that make wine country so memorable. Do yourself a favor and be sure to schedule a tasting with Crux Winery. And thank you for your support.